is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right, what's happening, guys? Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, November 25th, 2019, which means we only got 37 days left, guys. 37 days left in 2019 to make this a year to remember, make it a year that you will never forget. And this morning, we're going to talk about a little bit about how to do that. I'm going to talk about some experiences I had that led me to have this conversation with you guys. But we're going to talk about the power of positive energy, the power of positive energy in your life, the power of positive energy that others can bring to you. And man, this is one that's like super, super important to me, just with regard to, you know, how I try to function, how I try to operate. And, you know, when it comes down to who you surround yourself with, that's where your positive energy is going to come from. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, I think that it's important for us to recognize what this type of energy can do for us, what a positive attitude can do for us, what it means when people have the ability to change their day in an instant. And I have that ability because I've worked on it for years and years and years. And so, you know, I'm really looking forward to being able to just tap into that with you guys this morning. Gotcha. All right. We're on my normal page for some reason, but that's okay. We got 14 of you guys on here, so I appreciate you guys jumping on. Say good morning so I know who's on here. And we will jump right into the content here. So the number one thing that I will tell you guys is that it is literally impossible. And this is a simple statement, but a lot of people don't realize this or don't take the time to think about it. It is impossible to have a bad day when you have a positive attitude. And I'll give you a couple examples of this. You cannot sit there and say, I am having a great day with a smile on your face, and your day not get a little bit better. It's just impossible. It doesn't work that way. And so I want you guys to think about that, and I want you guys to think about, you know, how you kind of start your days, and when you're having a bad day, what that means as to how you handle it, what your reaction is. Do you just keep going down that rabbit hole of having a bad day? Or do you just 360-degree change it and just take control of what it is and flip it and turn it into a great day? I'll give you guys two examples. The first one is that before I, you know, decided to go attempt a 31-mile ultra marathon, I asked a lot of people who had been through that type of experience before for some tips. One of those people was Jesse Itzler. If you guys aren't following Jesse Itzler, I would highly recommend that you do it. And I'll tell you the tip that he gave me. One of the tips. He gave me a lot of advice, but one of the tips that he gave me was that when he was running a 100-mile race, one of his buddies came up to him and said, I want you to look me in the face and tell me I don't get tired. And he said I couldn't say that to him because I really was tired. And I felt like, you know, I wasn't being honest as far as, you know, my feeling of being tired. And he said his buddy convinced him. And as soon as he said it, bam, he instantly felt better. There was something about what that did for his brain, the chemicals that your brain emits when you say something like that. When you make a positive statement, it actually puts you in a better mood. It puts you in a more positive mood. It's the power of positive energy and what it does for your life. So I want you guys to think about that. When you are having a bad moment, when you're having a bad day, what does that look like for you and how do you respond to it? Because it's critical for you guys to be able to manage yourself in those moments where that positive energy is needed. The second example that I'm going to give you guys is from my wife and I went out to dinner on Saturday night, and we were at a restaurant, a really nice restaurant. We had a great experience at this restaurant on Saturday night. But I had made a comment to my wife that, when we sat down at the table, we were there early in the night, so the restaurant was just kind of getting moving. There weren't a whole lot of guests in there yet. But the feeling was just kind of tense. And I wasn't sure if the managers were tense or what the deal was. And I watched the owner of this restaurant, who we ended up talking to for an extended period of time at the end of our meal. But I watched the owner of the restaurant, the husband and wife owned the restaurant. The wife walked in, and she just kind of had this upbeat feeling to her. Just a really good positive energy. She was saying hello to everybody, to all the guests that were sitting in the restaurant. She obviously knew a handful of people. It was our first time at the restaurant. We did not know her before this evening, but there was just an instant shift in everything in that restaurant. And I said to my wife, do you notice how that was just an instant shift? How everything about the environment in that restaurant changed in an instant. And she said, yeah, absolutely. I 100% feel the same thing. So when the owner of the restaurant came over, I explained to her the difference in the energy in the restaurant from the time prior to her being there and the time after. It's real, guys. It is absolutely real. And I had the conversation with her about how owners of restaurants and owners of businesses, and in your case, the owner of your life, will dictate the positive energy or the energy that happens around you. You can create this stuff, guys. This is what having a positive attitude will do for your life. It's about perspective. That's the title of this show. I can't tell you how important it is for you guys to recognize the power that you have within your own mind to change anything in your life in an instant, just like that. It doesn't matter how bad your day is. It doesn't matter how bad your week is. It doesn't matter what is happening to you if you think that it's happening for you. So I would ask you guys to think about, what kind of energy are you surrounded by on an everyday basis? It's really important to recognize that, guys. What kind of energy are you surrounded by on a daily basis? What kind of energy do you supply yourself first thing in the morning when you wake up? I wrote down a couple of things here that I wanted to throw at you as to how people can start their morning. Do you start your morning grateful? Do you wake up in the morning and you are grateful to be alive? I've used this analogy before, but for you guys who are new to the show, I'm going to throw it past you again. If you woke up this morning and you had the chance between $1 million, I could give you $1 million, or you get life. So you could have $1 million and you could give that to somebody, or you could keep living. You could have life. Which would you choose? Every person I've ever asked the question of has chosen life. But we wake up every single morning with the gift that we choose, and we don't necessarily take the time to think about that. And so if you woke up today and I gave you $1 million, you woke up tomorrow and I gave you $1 million. You woke up Wednesday, I gave you $1 million. By Thursday, you'd probably be pretty happy, right? But every single morning, we wake up with this gift, the one that we would choose. Far more important than the $1 million. But we don't take the time to be grateful, to start our day on the right side of the bed, if you will. So, do you start your day out grateful? Are you prepared? Are you planned out? Or are you reactive and stressed out? Are you focused on what you need to do, on all of your duties, whether that be family, business, what you got to do around the house? Are you focused or are you overwhelmed and disorganized? Think about these things, guys. These are really important. You know, are you calm or are you stressed? These are all things that can be changed in an instant with the right thinking and the right perspective on how these things are supposed to go. And so I know that all of us have a lot going on this week. It's Thanksgiving week, right? Some of us have families coming to our house. In our case, we got family coming to our house. We got a baby on the way. My wife could go into labor while everybody's here on Thanksgiving. Who knows? But the reality is, guys, is that our preparation, our planning, our ability to see these things and take the time to actually plan things out and see things for what they are, and then our ability to dictate the energy in our own life, that's what's going to make this week great or not so great. And if you think for a second that you can have all these negative thoughts and you can wake up and not be grateful and you can just kind of, stroll through the week in whatever mood you happen to be in, or in a lot of cases, whatever mood other people put you in because you're not dictating the temperature of your own life, then your perspective is going to be all out of whack. And that's just how it works. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to you guys, but if you don't consciously choose how you feel, then other people are going to get to choose for you. Without a doubt, this is just how it goes, guys. It's just how it goes. By the way, I can't see comments on my stream, so I'm going back here. I got Jordan Stupar on here this morning. What's happening, my brother? Dom Manzo, good morning. Dina, Dayton, Nico, my man, what's happening? Trudy, Bob, what's happening? Bob, I'm going to get back to your email today, by the way. Justin Myers, what's happening? And Bruce, good morning to you guys. But I'm telling you, this is what has changed my life and what has given me control over every single day. And I'm not telling you I don't have bad days, because there are plenty of days that I get kicked in the teeth, and it takes me a minute to take my own advice that I'm giving you right now. But what I will tell you is that those positive emotions that I just mentioned to you, grateful, prepared, focused, proactive, calm, are things that I think that people who are around me all the time would tell you that I am most of the time. Nobody is 100%. Nobody doesn't have bad moments where they react in a negative way, or they, don't handle things as well as they hope they would in a certain situation. It's not how it works, guys. You get better and better and better as you spend more time repeating these types of behaviors. And so as you get better and better, two things happen. Number one, less things bother you. So less things actually impact you in the way that sends you into those negative emotions: stressed, overwhelmed, disorganized, on edge, reactive. So less of those things happen to you. And in another sense, when they happen to you, it happens less, and when they happen to you, you get back on track much faster. That is the difference between people who are really successful and people who aren't, because I want you guys to think about when these negative things happen, how much time it takes out of your life talking about it, worrying about it, spending time thinking negative things, worrying about things that never actually happen. So that power of positive energy, the power of the owner of that restaurant walking in and changing the mood, changed every single customer's experience that was visiting that restaurant. Think about that. Every single guest that was sitting in a chair, whether they recognized it or not, whether they consciously recognized it or not, had a better experience because that owner decided to walk in with an upbeat attitude, a smile on her face, a warm embrace for people that she recognized. We all have the ability, guys, to change every environment that's around us. Every single one. You cannot have a bad day if you're going to look yourself in the face and say it's not going to be a bad day, because it's a choice. It's a choice. It doesn't matter how much you have on your plate. Worrying about it will not make you go faster. It will not get you to the bottom of the pile any faster than if you choose to worry about it. It just won't happen. I promise you guys. It's not how it works. So think about that, guys. If you start your day, my brother is on here. What's happening, man? Thanks for jumping on. I don't think my brother's ever been on one of these in the morning. We got a bunch of people on here. Good morning, Christina, Tara, Bruce, Adam Griggs. What's happening, my man? Tom Esso. Man, I got a lot of people on here this morning. Thank you guys for jumping on. I hope this helps you start your week. A lot of people probably off work this week, I would assume. So, and for those of you who are new, we're here every single morning at 7:30, usually about 20 to 30 minutes, and we just talk about things that help you start your day a little bit more positive, and hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps. So think about it, guys. Think about the energy that you choose to put out into the world today, about whether you see things in a positive or a negative light, because it is a choice. And for those people who constantly put negativity into your life, which, by the way, could be the news channels, could be watching too much TV. You watch TV for too long, you're going to figure out there's not a whole lot positive that's being talked about on there. There's a whole lot of stuff that's stressing you out for no reason. But nonetheless, be aware of the things that you consume. One of the chapters in my book is your mental diet creates your mental perspective. If you watch nothing but negative shit on television, I can promise you that it will be a lot harder for you to live a positive life, because you're going to do nothing but constantly be drowned out with negativity. For every positive thought you have, the news channels will give you 3 negatives. Lots of people in the world are like that. If you find people around you who are super negative, you only got a choice. 2 choices. You can change the people, or you can change the people. Either you can make an impact on them and convert them to be positive people, or you can get them out of your life. Because if you are constantly around negative people, you will eventually become negative yourself. You ever wonder, when you look at groups of people and bad things happen to that whole group of people, whether it's in their personal life, their business life, whatever it is, it's probably because they're doing something to make it happen. And those people who you pull energy from, you pull habits from, you pull life lessons from, you will subconsciously duplicate everything that they are doing. Same is true for success and positivity and great things and living your life the right way. If you're around a bunch of those people, that's what you're going to find yourself doing. Creating more success, creating more positive things, if you're around people who are always creating success or creating new businesses, guess what you're going to do? You're going to end up doing the same thing. I speak from experience. So I don't want to beat it to death, guys. I hope this was helpful. Think about the type of energy you're surrounded by, and think about the temperature that you set in your own life. Is that temperature positive, or is that temperature negative? And it's all correctable, guys. The more that you just recognize what you're doing, are the conversations you're having typically having a positive tone to them, or are they typically having a negative tone? And it's real easy to switch it around. And when you do that, I promise you that all of those things that I mentioned, all the positive emotions that you can have, are going to start showing up more frequently in your life. You're going to find yourself being more grateful, more prepared, more focused, more proactive, more calm, no matter what's happening. I got all kinds of crazy things that happen in my life every single week. You don't hear me talking about a whole lot of them because they happen every week. What's the point in getting all worked up about it, right? Something bad happens almost every single week. It's all about how we choose to view it. Whether we choose that as happening for us or to us makes a huge difference. And it'll make a huge difference for you. I appreciate you guys for jumping on here this morning. There was a lot of you on and off, and I hope that I was able to kick your Monday off on a positive note. I hope this information was helpful. Just be aware, guys. The power of positive energy is real. The power of choosing your thoughts to be something positive makes a huge difference. If you think that it doesn't, get around somebody that constantly has negative thoughts and get around somebody that has constant positive thoughts, and you tell me what the difference is. I appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll be here again tomorrow morning right here, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m. Thank you guys for jumping on and spending the morning with me. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I will see you again tomorrow morning right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.